Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has withdrawn a plea deal which would have taken the death penalty off of the table for the men accused of orchestrating the 9/11 attacks. That man, along with two other defendants. That decision revokes a previous agreement made by a military court officer, that is Brigadier General Susan Escalier, with Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, along with those two co-defendants.
Comes after an onslaught of scrutiny from many of the 9/11 families, as well as Republican politicians. However, the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, vowing to challenge Austin's decision in court. This made news last week, but we wanted to keep the conversation going with Nicole Malliotakis, New York Congresswoman, who's hosting a news conference today alongside 9/11 families, police unions, and first responders. Congresswoman, welcome back to National Report. Talk to us about this decision that we heard from Secretary Austin last week and how it impacts what you're planning to call for today.
You know, last year, Senator Ted Cruz and I wrote to Secretary Austin and this administration because we felt very strongly that we should not be pursuing any type of plea deal, that anything less than the death penalty was unacceptable to not just us, but to the thousands of people who have lost loved ones either on 9/11 or in the days since because of 9/11 related illnesses. Obviously, those pleas fell on deaf ears and they decided to proceed with this plea deal. And it wasn't until the outrage from the family members, from the first responder organizations and politicians that they decided to reverse course. The bottom line here is there was a trial date set in 2021. This administration came in, it was postponed because of COVID, and it was supposed to take place September of 2021. And then they decided to pursue this plea deal instead. And so all of this has delayed the trial by years. And what the families want is to see justice served. It's been 23 years. They deserve that. And these monster terrorists do not deserve to continue to live. And we want to see the death penalty pursued and that justice is finally served for all Americans.
Not only the family members of the victims of 9/11 upset, but seemingly just about any American that's watched this when America was attacked on that day, and obviously the aftermath of it, the first responders that suffered illnesses because of the cleanup recovery methods that were used, obviously wars that were built upon this attack on 9/11. Seemingly not a lot of people on board with the plea deal are happy about that agreement. But not a lot of people, or some people, not happy about the agreement being revoked. In fact, the ACLU put this statement out, the executive director saying, quote, by revoking a signed plea agreement, Secretary Austin has prevented a guilty verdict in the most important criminal case of the 21st century. This rash act also violates the law, and we will challenge it in court. Politics and command influence should play no role in this legal proceeding, yet Secretary Austin dishonored an agreement reached after years of hard work and painstaking consultation by all parties involved. ACLU planning to challenge this in court. Your thoughts, Congresswoman?
Well, you know, ACLU has lent their support to help defend these monster terrorists. We're talking about the mastermind behind the entire 9/11 attacks, who worked hand in hand with Osama bin Laden to kill nearly 3,000 Americans, and so many since that day, again, because of the 9 related illnesses. So what I would say to ACLU is maybe stop trying to always be on the wrong side, I would suggest, certainly in this case, where they are constantly defending criminals, dangerous people, and in this case, terrorists. And really to try to claim that these terrorists deserve any type of mercy, that they deserve any type of protection, to me is outrageous. We need to continue to fight and demand that the death penalty be pursued, and that is exactly what I'll be doing today. And I'll be joined on Staten Island, which is my hometown, where so many in Staten Island and Southern Brooklyn, the area that I represent, lost loved ones. And we are seeing still dozens since September 11th in my community alone that have died from September 11th illnesses, firefighters, police officers. Right. So we should be showing absolutely zero mercy to these terrorists who showed no mercy to Americans or our way of life and sought to destroy it on September 11th, 2001.